because they're not at the tournament yet. This is the qualifiers to be able to have a chance to win $1.5 million. My name is Sunsfan, joined by BSJ. Hi.
And you put it like that, it sounds real depressing. This is the qualifier for the chance at having it,
Yes.
just, I don't know, something about that.
To have
seems like
something on the line.
It's
Yes.
kind of like when they tell you can play this tournament to qualify for this tournament to have a chance at entering for $1 million. That's how they sound in the commercials. But no, this has been exciting, man. I love upsets. We're kind of at least I was expecting a complexity stomp in this series after they kind of just manhandled Optic. And I think
NA Dota.
NA Dota, man. I think the most differing approach from Immortals from Optic is Immortals ain't picking Terrorblade. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't approach.
Don't
I'm
do
not
it.
saying the hero's bad. Optic is
I
Immortals
just think
ain't
that you
picking
Just
can
don't do
Terrorblade
it.
in any game and make it
Don't
work.
do it. So Complexity actually picks Bounty Hunter, a very common hero for Immortals, actually. Immortals.
Don't
I'm
do
not
it.
saying the hero's bad.
I just think that you
Just
can
don't
ride
do it.
on that and make it
Don't
work.
do it. Bounty Hunter track gold that they just ramp up the pace of the game and ram it down your throats basically. While they I was gonna say something different there, but let's just
It's all good.
change pace there. But so they go for the Bane. They love their lanes. Immortals do. And you saw for the last draft, I talked about that Troll Warlord pick being really good for the lanes, but not so much for the game. But they managed to make it work in terms of giving him the BKB timing. Like they had that one big fight at the Roche Pit, and somehow won that game. Still to this moment, not entirely sure what happened. But do you have any enlightening comments from your analytical perspective?
Absolutely not. But when I think of Immortals, I do think of Bounty Hunter, and I also think of PA, the two heroes, one of which has been stolen away from them. Do they pick PA just to stick it down there? You know what?
Yes.
Throats.
But I will say, though, that was I think mainly a QO special.
True. That is true.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay.
I have Complexity winning this one. I mean, honestly, I think Terrorblade's a good hero. I just think they're going to pick something like Pugna, Willow, these type of magic damage nuke heroes that just give this hero issues. I don't think they'll let him have it. Leshrak's always good too, but I think that I personally like Pugna or Willow the most. Lion's okay. Dealing with Terrorblade, it just any AoE stuns, magic nukes, they go Visage. Hey, we talked about that in the other series. I didn't think they'd do it again, but Visage quite good against Terrorblade. He just does enough damage, and Visage, we talked about it, good hero. You were talking all about in that series. I told you to settle down a bit. It's not that great. It's not that exciting, but you were all about it.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a big Visage player. Not so much Visage, but Visage, on the other hand, is a real treat to play.
Yes. Of
But
course.
he's just his passive working on the familiars definitely makes all the difference. And the fact that you don't have to reset his damage. So it's just consistent, whether it's consistently bad or good, depending on how close he is to Visage. But yeah, the hero does seem pretty strong.
I just think he's a lot easier to play. He used to be very mechanically demanding, as well as there was just so many things to consider. Your birds were so squishy. You had to consider using them to stun to get the damage back, and then resummoning, that kind of stuff. But now all you have to worry about is making sure they don't die and then stunning to lock people down when you need to. Otherwise, your birds are pretty straightforward. You keep them near you rather than worrying about split pushing because they get obviously, like you said, your passive. He's just a more straightforward hero. I think a lot of Visage in the past, what made him hard or what made him less picked is he's just hard. He was just hard to play. But now I think he's very much more conceptually straightforward. You just keep your birds with you and you walk down lanes with a Helm Dom and you kill buildings. And they try to go on you. You have a passive that makes you take no damage, and then they die when they go on you. So that's Visage in a nutshell. Really good with the Bounty Hunter, I think too, because Visage has a chase issue. Himself as a hero, he's pretty slow. He has to get in range to grave chill you. So and he's a hero that, since he's just gonna go push buildings anyway, to have that track gold on top of it and that vision is really nice.
Track doesn't apply to birds, does it?
Oh, it absolutely
speed
does.
It does? So it works on all summons, like wolves and all that stuff?
Yeah, those birds are lightning speed.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what Immortals chooses to do. Last time we saw what Optic chose to do, and it didn't work out for them against the Visage. They go Rubik first.
Now,
Not
if you steal
sure.
birds and then use them and then steal a different spell, your birds die, correct?
I believe so, yes, but I actually do not know. I will say though, Rubik stealing birds ain't all that great because they don't get Gravekeeper's Cloak when they're Rubiks, so they just die.
True. But you could stun.
5 seconds.
I mean, he's a nice setup stun, so maybe if they have an aggressive hero, like something like a Bat Rider that can go on Visage in the mid game, like with this Rubik setup, might be good. But I don't think Rubik alone deals with Visage very well. Pretty much every support, if they get Grave Chilled, they just die. That's pretty much what happens. Like your birds just kill them.
I am super excited to see a 30-minute Brown Boots Wand TP Bane be the MVP
I mean,
again.
that gets 5-second Fiend's Grips and wins the game.
I actually don't understand how that's possible for that to happen literally every single time.
Maybe
in the
they go
last game.
Disruptor or something here. Oh, I was gonna say like a
Oh,
long range
yeah.
cancel for Fiend's Grip was what
All
I was
right.
literally thinking with Disruptor. So
Dubu countered. Get
that
wrecked.
is as long range cancel as you can get.
Yeah.
So I don't think Silencer is particularly amazing in this meta, but they chose him. I
position is
personally
he?
think he's one of the weakest heroes. But
Is
you
he
never
a?
know.
Is this a 5 or is this a 1?
Yeah, I at this point I have no idea.
Oh, speaking
Okay.
of Doom,
Okay. So the Rubik
well-
lift into the Doom, that is a hero that can run at the Visage, but he has no armor. He'll probably build Crimson because it's the best way to deal with Visage. And you just need offlaners that build these type of items.
10 seconds remaining.
Most certainly will go that route. I've been seeing a lot of Treads Doom actually. I've seen a couple Dooms in the last few
5
days.
seconds remaining.
They all like going like Treads and then like either Helmbomb or
Treads.
Blaz, something like that.
really? So it's like
Yeah,
a right-click thing, kind of.
Yeah, it's been like they treat Doom as like a hero you can't walk. They don't gank with him. They make it so you can't enter his lane. Is what people have been approaching it like, and it was what I kind of saw. Where if you just have the threat of Doom, nobody's walking into your lane. That was kind of the way I saw it, and so treads are kind of better for that because you're just attacking faster and farming up and killing buildings and stuff. So, curious to see how Immortals approaches Doom. As a comparison, it's all like you said. When Moo plays every hero a bit differently than most people, it's always fun to see heroes like Doom because you can just build any item on that hero. So every player actually chooses to play that hero differently. So even though Doom himself is not all that exciting, I do like to see how different players interpret the most
Yeah,
effective way to play him.
I don't think they can pick Timbersaw now. That's for sure. Not that they would have necessarily, but
Okay,
they
Lena.
go for Lena. Their lineup, other than Visage, is pretty squishy right now.
It is
They
indeed. I
need-
think they're
they
going to
need
make
an
that a safe
offlaner.
lane Visage against Doom. I think that hero does absolutely fine against Doom.
Okay. So
in
Lena
lane-
mid, Visage safe, and then some sort of tanky offlane initiation.
Yes, I believe that's what they absolutely need because they have the silencer, but they don't actually have a way to start fights. So the ones that come to mind are Bat Rider. I think has to be banned. I think Bat Rider is their best pick. Yep, Bat Rider gets banned.
Okay.
Uh,
That's not beefy though. It's still pretty squishy.
yeah, it's not beef. They don't actually need a beefy hero. I want to correct that because they have Visage. They just need a guy that starts fights. Visage will actually buy the beefy team fight items for the team. They could go a beefy hero, but Visage will do that if they choose to go a different route.
How's Beastmaster?
I don't love it against Terrorblade. I think Terrorblade's really good against Beastmaster, just because all of his damage is physical, like even the axes. So
Yeah, but finding somebody that's good against Terrorblade and Doom is going to be hard because like Pango is a great pick against TB, but horrendous against Doom.
Yeah,
Not
I
only because of Doom
agree.
itself, but you usually get a net creep and instantly
Beastmaster
cancel
would
that
fit
ult.
their game plan well, but it would be kind of awkward in the laning stage, I think. So maybe, honestly, they might do like a Brew or a Clockwork. I think might be what they do. As not Clock because of Rubik, maybe Brew. I think Brew is the one that stands out to me, or Legion. Actually, no, Legion is their pick. Holy moly,
Legion.
I'm calling Legion 100%.
Okay. Overwhelming odds owns Terrorblade.
I am calling it because I know Moo,
Dire team pick.
and I really feel like it's the pick. We'll see if they believe me.
Radiant team pick.
Wow.
I'm just
Wow.
I'm just a god, you know. What can I
Wow.
say? It just I know Moo,
Impressive.
man. I know the guy. I've played a lot of pubs with him. Good guy. I'm like I know he's gonna pick Legion here because he's done it to me. Okay, so what's their response on Immortals? They don't really have a save. They don't have like a counterplay to Doom. The only thing they have is to Duel. They only have Nightmare. To
Well, this is going to be a mid
basically
laner versus
stall it
Lena,
out.
right?
Yeah, they need a mid laner that maybe OD, but it's countered by Lena though. OD's countered by Lena, but it's really good against the duel.
How's
and it goes well with
Razor?
Terrorblade. I think Razor's banned. Yeah, he's out.
Oh, my bad.
Sniper maybe? Oh, Tiny.
Oh,
Okay.
Tiny.
I guess that's kind of a counter to Legion because the duel lasts for half a second, but yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
personally really like Complexity Gaming's lineup here. I think it's
Okay.
really hard for Immortals to win fights because their primary source of initiation, the Bane, is countered by the Legion. You can what do you call it? Press the attack off the Fiend's grip, which is really good. And they kind of have that like front line. So what makes Legion even better is not only does she serve as initiation for team fights, like with the global silence, but she's also really good counter initiation for whoever gets gone on, unless they get doomed. The only thing she doesn't counter is the doom. But it just gives them multiple ways to play fights, so that's why I really liked it.
I think Dubu's going to feed this game. You got the Fiend's grip cancels, right? You got obviously global silence. You have, like you said, press the attack. You have the birds from Visage. Even a mere bouncing shuriken will cancel that bad boy. He's gonna have he's not gonna get these Fiend's grips, man. They countered him. They knew what the goal of the game would be is to counter Dubu. They've done so. And then make them pick Doom, who's one of the worst heroes in the game. That's another thing.
I think you're. I don't think Doom's one of the worst. He's definitely below average. I think you're over exaggerating.
All right, well, that's one of the worst. If you're below average, you're one of the. All right, he'd be bottom 20. That's what I would consider one of the worst.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Would you agree with that?
He's a hero that the thing is, I think he's a lower average hero, maybe bottom 20, but at least he has a purpose. Like he has a specific thing that he does that other
Doom
heroes
people.
don't. I'm just saying, like, I don't think Legion's very good either, but I thought she was really good here. Like a really good niche pick that kind of just fills a specific slot in a lineup. And so heroes that don't do that and are weak, kind of like a Bloodseeker, I think are just not pickable.
Bloodseeker.
Those type of heroes I feel like are just not pickable.
Yeah, Bloodseeker's got to be bottom 10 at the very least. And he's always been bottom 10. That's the sad part. I mean, there was a small phase where Aghanims was really good, I guess, but nobody knew how to play around it. But we're going to see a Doom either way, and he has a weird-looking set on right now. What's your creep of choice? Ooh, we have to hold on to that thought as Soxa is going to get initiated.
Turtle Blade.
He could have done it. Would that have been enough?
Orb of Venom on like one support every game. This is an Orb of Venom Rubik. Very interesting.
Really?
I guess it's a 4-position Rubik, so might as well just say it's a 4-position item that a lot of people are prioritizing. There's one on Bounty Hunter as well. Balo's actually... Okay, never mind. Grape Chill is a scary spell early, but if there's 3 heroes there, not so bad. So 3 runes go to Immortals, actually.
I feel like getting Infernal Blade first isn't really that bad, right? Because the creeps don't spawn.
Yeah, most people do because you can't get the creep for a minute anyway. Yeah. But sometimes, I guess since he's planning on dragging the creeps, maybe he's saving for Scorched Earth.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
In case something goes wrong. That's the only thing I can really think of here.
All right, so while we watch this god-awfulness, I got a couple tweets giving us some derogatory terms. So you tell me if you like any of these, all right? So the first one is knuckle dragging.
Okay.
And the second one is called off-lane pull for the fuck enemy safe lane carry pull. Which one do you like? Those are your two choices.
I like the knuckle dragging a little bit more, but the other one definitely portrays what
the frustration.
Is.
Yeah.
Yes, what is actually happening is portrayed much better by the second one.
I feel like we could do better, guys. That's not bad. But...
Yeah, I feel like those are very, gave it the old college try. I had to finish this paper in the last night, but I really didn't feel like giving my full effort at tries. That's what I feel like.
Give your full effort, for God's sake. Febby, he's going to take some heavy damage from Soxa. Yeah, seriously, one thing. I never asked you guys for anything. Febby, he will be fine at half HP, though. And it is a Lina versus a Tiny. Tiny, obviously, with 0 armor, so might struggle in the early stages. We'll see how CS works out in the later stages of the laning stage. MP, in the meantime, taking very heavy damage. The Freak won't be able to finish him off, but does get him quite low. And this is scary for MP. If Z-Freak was level 2, which he almost is, he's going to get it right here. Just one Shuriken would have been enough. An interesting lane, though. It's funny how Dota has evolved into this. Lanes have just been flip-flopped all over the place. Random heroes are mid. And now we're back to Tiny and Lina, which are actually 2 old-school mids. So,
Yeah.
very strange. Gone full circle. Well, bottom lane, Moo. He might be in some trouble here. No block available for Dubu. He will get a couple more right clicks, but not enough to actually get a kill. What did they change from Tiny? The tree grab is a longer cooldown or something? Is
They've
that what it
nerfed
was?
every skill on him. They nerfed his ultimate for less attack speed, or more attack speed reduction. They made it so his tree grab has longer cooldown. His avalanche has longer cooldown at all levels, and his his toss has longer cooldown at all levels. And then his avalanche used to be just 17-second cooldown, and now it's 20, 19, 18, 17. That actually got me killed in a pub. I didn't think that nerf mattered, but that got me killed in the pub once, so it matters.
Unbelievable. Oh, Ryoya. He's in some trouble. Gets the toss avalanche. Nicely done. And Limp. Can he get one more wave? Oh,
man.
Very close, but no cigar.
You could
Ryoya will
hear his
heal.
butt cheeks clenching right there. for
Yeah,
sure.
they were real tight. It's never been tighter in his life. Now, what did he eat here? He ate a Hellbear Smasher. It's okay, I guess. Could be worse. Could it?
Yeah, he'll
Jesse, in the
probably
meantime,
take
oh,
it to
telekinesis. We have an Infernal Blade, not from the 10 seconds. He could cast the Thunderclap.
Oh, the tree block. But
Might actually be enough.
He just
Ooh.
gave Velo a tree. An upgraded tree.
Chessie healing up with the salve, gets canceled from the Fade Bolt, and there is the Infernal Blade. That is
Can I
first
point out
blood
that
going to
Chessie's
Immortals.
level 3 and he hasn't leveled Gravekeeper's Cloak? Like, he just has no skill point.
Oh, you're right. Huh.
What?
Well, it wouldn't have been good there, right? Doesn't it have to start off at one?
No, it starts off at
It
4.
starts at full?
like, what?
No, like, you know how it ramps up?
No, it doesn't do that. It just starts at 4. Every single... What? Every single Visage I see takes that ability at level 2, and it's a passive, and he just hasn't leveled it. That's so
Interesting.
weird. I actually have no idea what's happening there.
Well, Infernal Blade is good against that too, though, right?
It is, but I mean, it's just free damage reduction. It's not like a cost-benefit
Right,
thing.
Silencer died. I'm just trying to think of reasons, all right? I'm just
Is
throwing
there
stuff
like a
out
bug
there.
here? Is he leveling? Why is he... Okay, he just leveled. What the heck is happening? Okay, I think he lives there, 100%. If he barely died. And, like, that whole time he was getting damaged. That's so odd.
Well, Dubu in the bot lane, Z-Freak. He's here to help out Moo. MP does have Metamorphosis available. Soxa is here to play as well. There's the Curse and MP. Oh, he's taking heavy damage. Won't be enough for a kill,
That's
but
the point of Legion, is it? Legion's not the best at killing Terrorblade because of the high armor from Terrorblade, and Legion actually relies a lot on right-clicking, but you just send him out of lane so much, and it's really hard to farm as Terrorblade. Very awkward to try to lane it. Just get bullied a lot.
all right, I got another tweet. Not to get on. One's actually really good, but I can't say it out loud.
Okay.
I'll have to message you. It's really good, but it's a little bit
Okay.
offensive, so we're not going to say it on stream here. Overwhelming odds applied. Dubu
Okay.
gets off a brain
Family
zap.
friendly stream.
Yes, we try to be at least. And it looks like that's going to be a kill going the way of Complexity.
-2s in chat, please. Doxa getting smarter by the minute.
Oh man! Anytime I think of Silencer as a support, I think of Swindle. You ever see that game where he got like he got like, what was it, 25, 26 intelligence super early in the game? He just became a carry.
I did not see that. I
It
would
was
like
filthy.
to see it, though. Probably the smartest Swindle's ever been.
That 20 intelligence, boy oh boy.
Got him.
Ryoya getting chased by Z-Freak. Level 6 right now. See if they can... The DD will be taken by Limp. The nice LSA. Does have Laguna Blade as well. See if it's going to be enough. It should be, unless he gets bursted down first. Actually, doesn't even need it. Never you mind. Meanwhile, top lane. There's the death.
The Terrorblade rotation. And that's a really important skill for carry players. If you're in a crap lane and the other guy, like the other carry, is not strong yet, which in this case the Visage is not level 6, just go to his lane. You know, why would you ever want to go back to that Legion lane? And that's something that one of the most common mistakes carries make, is they're just like, this lane sucks, let's go back. And instead, MP makes a great rotation, gives himself a tower, now he's got the space to farm a little bit, and he's no longer dealing with Legion, most importantly, and that was really... He's only level 5, but he's feeling good now. Got a crucial kill on Visage, and he's living the dream. Good Terrorblade rotation.
Little poke there onto MP. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Of course, the level 6 for bounty is going to be a huge deal for complexity. That's when they can actually get a big influx of gold. I mean, especially with the bounties being changed and not give experience. Roaming heroes have suffered quite a bit, so that early engagement is very important as Dubu. Taking heavy damage along with moves getting chased by the Terrorblade, but there's LSA and Laguna Blade getting baited into it. The Doom is on Moo, but he will live just barely. About 100
Immortals
HP.
just tried to do too much with too little, I think. They tried to get a kill on a crucial core with only 2 heroes, and Complexity just brought more resources. But luckily, Terrorblade and Tiny were farming that entire time, but still, obviously, very important that they used Doom to no avail there.
Well, the push will continue here for coL, looks like, and I do not think Immortals is going to try for this. Febby only has about 1 Fade Bolt left to his name. He just needed it. Very important. Yeah, Chessie, level 6, of course. And this will be an easy one. We'll be going for Helm of the Dominator. Looking pretty good. Who do you like in this early stage? Who's come out on top?
I personally think that if Terrorblade can continue to do what he's doing top, where he's just farming and he doesn't get pressured by Legion, I think they win on. I think Immortals is winning this trade, because if Terrorblade gets really farmed this game, I think he's a huge threat. But at the same time, if Chessie's able to just use this Helm Dom to take tier 2 bottom and tier 1 mid in the near future, I think that Complexity is just going to kind of slowly close in the map on Immortals. And if Terrorblade runs out of room, we're going to kind of see what happens is, if Terrorblade runs out of room, he usually just takes farm from the rest of his team. So you'll see what happened in the Optic game, where the Terrorblade's really high net worth, but he's the only high net worth. And Terrorblade has a tough time being the only hero that's high net worth. If that usually happens, he'll just get itemized against with these Crimson Guards as well as other items, and you just end up not being able to solo carry. But here we go.
Oh boy. Z-Freak is dead. LSA is there to mitigate a little bit of the damage thanks to the stun, but not going to be enough to actually survive. There was just a lowly sentry there.
Immortals. They need to keep opening up the map. They need to keep doing this. Ignore the Visage. Minimize his tower pushing as much as possible. I think Dubu might just die here.
Well, it'll be interesting with the TP support coming in as well, Velo. If you can catch up, maybe you can get tossed. No.
A little overzealous on Dubu's part there. And this is what I mean by what Visage does. Look at how many people they just tried to rotate on the Visage, and instead the rest of his team is just farming. Moo's getting the drums, actually. Who needs Blink? Let's get drums. Stick to our guns.
Sure, why not? No.
Consistency, man. You know what you're getting out of your offlaner.
Tome is available. I would expect that to go to Z-Freak. I'd be shocked if it's... technically, Sox says Global Science is quite good, I guess. But track is just, I think, too important.
Yeah, I think track is way more important for sure, yeah.
Well, he's going to see some bodies here mid, but see if he can actually make anything of it. Febby might be in the wrong place at the wrong time, but nope. Ends up hugging the tier 1. Tier 1 quite low. They could just backdoor this if they really wanted to, or just deny it, in fact, if you're Immortals.
Important to note that MP used meta to farm, which is perfectly fine. Just know that like he'll be pretty much useless for the next minute and a half. Or sorry, 2 minutes.
Siege, not quite enough to take out the tower, but it looks like Complexity will take it for themselves either way. Here comes the stuns from the Familiars and the Centaur into the Laguna Blade. The Nightmare actually dodged it again. Dubu is a god on this hero. Oh my lord.
Stole the birds, man. He stole the birds too. Got a 2 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Look at them birds. Tell you what.
As we said, they don't have the Gravekeeper's cloak, so they just die. But that's okay. It's the thought that counts. You got the 2-man stun to interrupt the combo.
What other heroes does Dubu play these days? All we've seen is
I think he
Bane,
sometimes plays Bane and AA. Maybe
Bane.
Yeah, Bane, I think.
It's pretty good.
Something like that.
Pretty good on this hero.
As the captain, the most important thing is that you really understand your hero so well that you don't have to worry about anything other than captaining the team. That's pretty much. That's why 5-position hero players usually have very limited hero pools. Because they care more about the team execution rather than their own.
Yeah, when you play a hero you're more familiar with, you can rely more on the muscle memory, I guess.
Yep, just
Don't have to think
the
about
subconscious, automatic reflexes. I will point out that Velo was level 6 at like 7 minutes, and he is level 6 at 12 minutes. That is pretty massive. And we're seeing a similar story but they do have Tiny on the high net worth as well. They have #1 net worth Terrorblade, but Tiny's actually up there. He has a Shadow Blade complete. That's actually a pretty big deal. If he can get a Silver Edge at a decent time, if I was Tiny, I might even rush Silver Edge because you kill Visage instantly if you have one. But if you don't have one, then you actually don't kill Visage at all because the Gravekeeper's Cloak tanks your entire combo.
When Gravekeeper's Cloak is worn down to 0 charges, he's below the default magic resist, right?
Yeah, he has 10%.
Every hero?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That means Tiny will go to work, no doubt.
Yeah, so that's super important. I'm curious to see if he does it. I don't know if everyone knows the interaction between Silver Edge and Gravekeeper's Cloak, but it just instantly removes all stacks. Don't get any more. Don't have any at all for 4 seconds. And Tiny will most importantly instantly kill the birds too because he has the cleave.
Yep, very true. Tiny will go for the 30 damage talent, as there's not really that much magic
I think they need a
other than
second
Tiny. Or not other than Tiny, sorry. I mean, I guess there's a decent amount of magic damage. I mean, 20% just feels like a lot over 30 damage. Something
Yeah,
you
the
can easily
30
find.
damage means that you're looking to be more of a core in the game. The magic resistance means you're like a frontlining tank, but they have a Doom for that. They
Speaking of
actually
which,
kill top utilizing Doom as well as the Shadow Blade on Tiny. And I feel like he'll go Echo Saber. I'd go Echo Saber Silver Edge myself. I'm curious to see what he chooses to go. He might go like SNY instead because he's against Bounty Hunter and you need that move speed to keep up with him. A lot of different small items or medium-sized items you can go on Tiny.
all right, we're a third of the way there on Dubu. He's going to have these basic items 20 minutes from now, but we'll still be getting Godly Fiend's Grips.
Doc said, no, your innocent body.
Oh,
Dead.
my bad. Well, that is the Shadow Blade being revealed. I do... Oh, Limp. You might want to chase here. Does have the Yules available, but...
Dubu.
Yeah, Dubu, I don't think you're going to get a full duration Fiend's Grip this time. He's getting beaten down by the
Yeah,
troll.
he had to use birds to get the stun, so the bird you have no damage on Visage if you have to stun with the birds.
Chessie keeping this tier 1 tower super safe right now. What do you think of the LC talent, by the way?
Which one?
Well, the level 10. He went for the 8 strength over the 25% XP gain. I feel like 25% XP gain is pretty good. Obviously, it's no 8 strength.
I honestly, I'll be. I actually play a decent amount of LC for compared to most offlaners. I think I have like 200 games on her. I have no clue. Whenever I pick this talent, I'm actually looking at it like it's so close. In my opinion, it's so close. I feel like the 8 strength is really nice. The extra bit of tankiness, damage, as well as just overall like just a little bit of boost in the mid game. But then at the same time, like the 25 XP is a lot. So I will tell you, out of all the talents of heroes I play, I really don't know on that hero.
Regardless, he'll go for the strength with the telekinesis. And Grave Chill now onto Febby. In fact, it was onto Chessie from Febby. He's going to attempt to run away now. There's a haste there for Lena to pick up. Very fortuitous for her.
No net.
But Febby will just TP out to safety.
Net on the...
We have the Avalanche. Not sure if he tossed. He did. Wasn't enough to kill Limp regardless. And they have the vision, and they have the kill. So much needed kill on the Tiny, who's been a real pestilence for complexity.
So he is going the SNY build on Tiny. I do believe that's just to keep up with the move speed from the track.
Yep. Yep, that was a track kill, of course, so see how much gold influx they'll be able to get in the next few minutes.
We just
has
have to
the
be
urn.
concerned about exactly what's happening with the net worth on Immortals. If Terrorblade becomes the only high net worth, I think we'll see an exact repeat of what we saw between coL and Optic, where PyCap just got controlled and they lost.
How many Lotus Orbs are we going to see this game? I mean, Bounty Hunter's a hero that
On
would want to
which
pick it up at
team?
some point. Well, for complexity versus the
Yeah, I
Sunder.
feel like Bounty Hunter will 100% buy one. It's like too good against the Bane, Rubik, and Doom, and the Terrorblade. Actually, yeah, it's a really good Lotus Orb game. You're right.
Yeah. Well, it's more for... I was thinking the Sunder just because if Terrorblade is going to be the only hero that's actually doing anything, which remains to be
That is
seen if that's
true.
going to be the
Yeah,
case.
I mean, it makes it way harder to play Terrorblade. It's just like a... If you have to concern yourself with a Lotus Orb, it's not like something where you have to worry about sundering one hero that has a Linken's. You have to worry about anytime any hero you're about to sunder is about to get Lotus Orbed. It's something to really...
But you
it
can...
changes the way you're willing to think about sundering.
How does Sunder work when you have BKB on as Terrorblade? Doesn't work, right?
It goes through BKB. Sunder does. So if you sunder a Lotus Orb, you will get sundered. Yeah.
Oh, it
The only
pierces
way
stone,
Terrorblade
maybe.
can counter a Lotus Orb is by buying a Linken's and then having the Sunder get blocked by a Linken's.
That sounds awful.
I mean,
You probably just have to wait it out.
It's insane to go Linken's on Terrorblade this game because the only initiation from coL is dual. So, not completely crazy.
Were you around for the days when Sunder used to mini stun by any chance?
I was, man. Good days. Right when
Good
Terrorblade went
days.
into captain's
Jesus.
mode, he had like 2 strength, or he had like 2.5 strength gain or something, and I don't remember what. Oh, his illusions took like no damage. That's what it was.
But you
And
weren't
his
around
illusions
for
did
the-
full tower damage.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was disgusting. But you don't...
Good times.
I think if you
man,
go back
Terrorblade.
even further, Metamorphosis was his ultimate, and he had life drain
I've not been around for that.
from he had life drain from Pugna, basically, like a lower version of that. His limp, getting destroyed, the last right click from the TB is enough.
They even used global to try to protect him, and it wasn't soon enough. So that's pretty. Not only is it a kill, but it's also like Complexity's ability to team fight is now on cooldown. Pretty massive. And they also have the move Blink, so they've kind of rendered themselves useless for a bit by doing that.
I just realized that there's a Legion Commander in the game.
Yeah,
haven't
he
seen a
hasn't
dual
really had
kill.
that much impact ever since that Terrorblade rotation top. Like his job was to pressure the Terrorblade. The Terrorblade left, and suddenly it's not happening anymore.
I mean, there's some games where you play LC where it doesn't really matter if you get dual damage, especially in the early to mid stage. Is this one of those games, or is it actually a problem that he hasn't
I feel
gotten
like
a
his
duel?
job is to primarily be locked down and save. So I do believe that he doesn't like. Obviously, dual damage is always good, but I don't think it's as important in this game that he has it as it may be in certain others. It's really hard in this meta to get dual damage, especially against Terrorblade, Doom, or Tiny. They're just really tanky heroes. Really hard to win a duel against. It's not like a Queen of Pain or some int hero that is once you get the duel off, it's probably gonna die.
Oh my, that is a toss into a death for Febby. What in the world?
Well, were they
What
trying
was
to coordinate a gank and Briar just alley-ooped him into the track kill?
I think so.
Doesn't feel good.
That was
Does not feel good. They might just go straight Roche off this. The Visage is so good at it with the medallion that Solar Crest he actually has in full.
Yep. And with Limp's right click, this has to be more than enough to finish this bad boy off. So that'll be the first Roche of the game in favor of Complexity. And assuming the Aegis will go to Limp. And there we go. They take out Roche. TPs are a little bit too late for Immortals. Lots of pings coming out. Let's see if they actually want to fight here. Drums are popping. Moo's going to jump in with that duel. There's the Nightmare save, though, and they're just going to Nightmare each other endlessly. Can they get the kill? They finally will. So the damage
Got the duel
is
in.
on to Moo.
All the bird stuns.
Nice stun
The
onto
track speed
Dubu.
coming.
He still has Fiend's Grip available, but it's not going to be able to use anything here. That is a second
kills
track
add up a
kill.
lot.
Absolutely. Let's see how much they actually made off of that. So it's just for 2 support kills, 560 gold.
That was actually
That's
only
really
the
good.
1 kill. Like, it didn't even count the Rubik kill
Oh,
in this.
okay. So for 1
Fire
kill,
cap.
500 gold.
For 1 kill, 560 gold on a support. That's pretty massive.
On a hero that's worth
Probably
800.
about 1,000 gold between the 2 heroes. And dual damage. And they didn't utilize any crucial ultimates. Like, duel's already off cooldown. Very short cooldown ability.
And they have yet to use Global Silence, I do believe. Sox
Yeah,
actually
they
has
just got it off
14
cooldown after
intelligence.
Using it bottom.
Not too bad. Oh, they did
Oh,
use it
wow,
bottom.
that matters. That matters too. Reducing that spell amplification from the Radiant team.
Gracious. Oh, smoke is popped by Z-Freak. He will get dusted and will die. Still worth it, though. Although now Rubik can go invisible.
I may set up some crucial ganks, but they already have a Shadowblade Tiny, so coL will most likely already have detection set up. You can actually see, look at the sentries on the map. Holy moly.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Complexity. A lot of sentries.
No, Febby. Look, oh, he's actually just going to be found, but out of sentry range now, and they know where it is. Well, they know where he is, but they just can't quite kill him. And there's not dust or anything of that nature in
No, nothing
range.
on the courier either, so...
Oh, we could actually maybe kill that courier, but...
Radiant's top tower is under
It is the night vision, of course. Limp has the Bloodstone now, 14 charges, and the
Limp
Yules.
is insanely farmed.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Here that hasn't quite found her favor since the days of the respawn timer that we all remember.
Yeah, I've been seeing a ton of Lina recently, but... Oh, he has a sentry on Limp, so he'll catch
Yeah.
him.
Yules,
Solid
LSA,
this.
goodbye. Nice kill there.
See you later.
No more skeleton walk for you. Oh, Terrorblade's going to get
And
initiated
it's-
on with the track kill and the global silence. No, actually, no global silence needed. Thought I heard it. They don't need anything. Just easy kill. Moo now with 28 damage. And is the Aegis
I just
still
don't
online?
think Terrorblade can solo carry this game, like, based on the heroes that Complexity has. Visage is way too tanky for him to actually focus. He has to be concerned about duel all the time, so he probably has to eventually buy a Lincoln's after BKB. Lina actually attacks you from such a far range that you can't hit her back. It's a tough Terrorblade game.
have a
As
good-
it seems it's been a lot today.
Complexity has a really good mix of magical and physical and actually pure damage spread out across the board. So it's kind of hard to
actually do.
itemize for this.
I'm telling you, man, I don't know how to beat Visage. I don't understand. Like, the hero doesn't even seem like he has much impact, but, like, if you look at the way... I actually think Terrorblade can't carry this game simply because of the fact that they have a hero on Complexity that can't be focused by the Terrorblade, and you can be controlling the Terrorblade as well. So what happens is the Terrorblade is really awkward in fights. It just feels super weird. You can't do what Terrorblade wants to do, where you just, like, pop meta and man up on everybody. That's kind of what you want to do. But they just have Legion from, Lina from such long range, Legion to save anybody that gets disabled, Silencer to just like disrupt the fight. It just feels super awkward from my perspective.
scanning.
If I'm trying to imagine myself in Terrorblade's shoes. But he
Have you
almost
been
has
there
the
before?
BKB,
Is that what you're
which
trying
he's
to say?
going- Yeah, I've been there. I've been on both sides. Like I played Visage and Terrorblade recently, and it always feels good from Visage. So it's weird because on paper it seems like it would be good for Terrorblade.
Dire's bottom tower.
Seen, I think, 2 usages of Doom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so-
I think that first Doom was a pretty massive deal now that we saw it, because we talked about how he was level 6 at 6 minutes, and then he was level 6 at 12 minutes, and that was because of the first Doom not working out. And so I feel like Doom has not been a hero this game. I don't feel like we've felt his effect. He does have the Crimson Guard, which heavily negates the Visage impact in team fights, but...
I mean, if you look at-
I
I'm
also
not- okay.
tell you, as a Visage player recently, you just don't care. You just don't do anything for 12 seconds, and then you kill people. So...
I think this is looking at a little bit too black and white, as Limp is going to find a potential kill onto Ryoya. Gets off the Avalanche. And it actually is just going to TP out in the face of
Yeah, he didn't
the
have
Fire
Eels
Woman.
or Light Strike Array left.
But I feel like any hero could have been substituted for Doom just by a Crimson Guard on literally any strength hero. Probably would have been better off. Not going to lie.
I think... I
feel like this hero is garbage.
I'm pretty sure everyone is under the same impression as I am, and they don't know how to deal with Visage. So they thought Doom with Infernal Blade and Scorched Earth may deal very well with Visage, and instead...
They did get the kill
It's
early
not.
on.
Yeah, I'm saying in lane it was really nice, but once Visage has birds, the hero just is unrecognizable to his laning stage. Like, in laning stage, he's vulnerable, he can be bullied. Once he has birds, it's just a different hero.
Well, Tiny is going for Silver Edge now. So that's after the S and Y has been complete. And he's pretty close to finishing, in fact. Another... How much is the recipe these days? 700, so another 1,000 away or so. That'll be pretty big. Unless he initiates on somebody else. I mean, you don't really always have a choice of who to go to either. Depending on... I mean, the problem is there's going to be tons of sentries to counter the sentries that are already there for bounty. As we see more being placed, there's a telekinesis initiation. Limp, see if they pop that shrine or not. Global silence is there, and they're going to blow up Bane right off the bat. Question is, will they continue the pressure or not? Febby getting targeted next. The Yules is here. Ryuya looking to try to finish somebody off. There's the Doom finally applied to the Visage. Into the toss. He's just getting healed by press the attack, and he might be able to get denied if he gets low enough, but I don't think he will be. In fact, it feels like he's healing through it. And Complexity, they want to continue now.
Cloak stays on because it doesn't do enough damage per tick, so he just takes like 80% damage.
Oh, Shrine being popped. Febby sacrificing his life. Yep, he will die. Overwhelming Oz doing a lot of damage. We still have a duel available. It'll be on the Terrorblade, so he cannot get the Sunder off, but he will get the damage anyway. They have enough to actually kill Mu. And with that, I believe Fiend's Grip. That is the max range Fiend's Grip again. Won't actually be enough to kill Siegfried this time.
There's no way. Oh my god, he had Avalanche. Jesse juked into the trees and TP'd out.
And Siegfried scouting things out.
That seemed like worst case scenario for Complexity, and they lost a Legion, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty scary for
Well, and they gave 14 damage to Terrorblade.
I mean, Terrorblade.
Terrorblade.
Right so.
It all adds
he might
up.
get his TP canceled by Siegfried. They would have caught him. If Siegfried got him there, coL would have killed him. He had no BKB, and coL was collapsing on him with 4 heroes. A lot of near misses on both sides.
Yep.
Game can still go either way, though. You're seeing that Immortals can still win fights, despite the fact that they have Legion and Silencer counter-initiate. The thing I look at, though, is if Immortals gets the jump, the fight's going to get globaled and then reset. So, like, it kind of just gets a fight played with no global. If Complexity gets the jump, somebody on Immortals is just going to die. And so it's kind of, like, harder to play the game from Immortals' perspective. But if they can manage to keep getting the initiation, I think they can still win this game.
A lot of it.
Still going that MKB?
It feels like the Doom is just crucial. Because if you're not getting good Dooms off, then it really is a matter of why did you pick this hero, you know? I mean, Infernal Blade's super good, obviously, but it doesn't look like Fiend's Grip's available yet onto Z-Freak. He's going to attempt to get out of dodge, and he will do so successfully. So, Immortals, they're playing a little bit scared, not knowing who's behind them. But he was all alone.
They have no idea where the rest of Complexity is. They're either all there or not. None of them are there at all. And if you don't know, you have to act like they're all there.
Kind of just the rule of Dota 2. If you don't, in professional games, if you don't play that way, then if they're all there, you all just kind of die. And that's game losing. And it's not worth the risk on a bounty hunter kill. Ryo are putting a lot of pressure on top, which is good, forcing the Lina back. He is going for the Silver Edge on Tiny, so they won't actually have to doom the Visage. I really want to see if it blows up the Visage. I'm curious. I know it has a massive effect, but I'm still not 100% sure how much you burst the Visage with Tiny.
The other problem is that there is a hood on Chessie as well, so it won't mitigate
but
all of it.
But he still only has 35% magic resistance rather than like what a normal hero would have with hood. So
yeah,
it obviously is drastically different that he has a hood, but most heroes have a lot more than that with a hood. They see Raro.
Yeah, they know it. Oh boy. Oh boy, he is tracked and he's gonna get nightmared. Do they have a Force Staff or anything of that nature? He's going to get stunned, and oh, the Sunder's going to save him. Tried to get the duel off, did Mu, but not quite in range as the birds are super fast. They're just going to perma-stun him. They might find him anyway. Yep, Laguna Blade duel. And after all that, he still dies. And poor MP needs to go back and heal. In fact, he can just wait and just Sunder somebody as initiation. Why not? Definitely not risky.
I think that's a situation where he knows they're not fighting even if Tiny's dead. If Tiny does die, MP knows they're not fighting anyways, so he goes for the save play rather than holding it. But this sets up Roche for Complexity. They're going to go straight in. They have the Solar Crest on Visage. The hero does a lot of damage. They have Lina as well for the damage. And they actually have a full Axe Scepter on Lina. I love it against the Terrorblade BKB for bursting him during duel. It's pure damage that goes through BKB.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Smoke's going to be too late from Immortals. That's an Aegis. That's a cheese. They're placing some wards here. Might want to initiate We've been seeing a lot of counter initiations after the Roche is taken from teams in the last 6 months or so. There
This
goes
is
the
doomed
Doom. It's on to Visage.
either.
He is dead. 60 seconds on the deck. And Global Silence was used as well, really to no avail. So we'll see if Immortals can make something of this.
You're gonna get a tier 2 for sure. There's no Visage. One nerf to Doom, I think, was the change to buybacks that made them really potent, where you don't lose gold anymore. Like, you don't, like, you get all the gold when you come back. So I think every time they Doom, a strong consideration needs to be if the target that Complexity gets doomed has buyback. Like, I looked at Visage, and if he has no buyback, it's super good for them because they'll always be able to take a favorable fight. But in this meta, you just see a lot of people just buy back right after they die or get bursted at the start of the fight. So they have to be careful in the late game about dooming a buyback hero, because they'll probably just get ran over by Complexity after the Doom and meta is down.
You know, a mechanic
If
I
Complexity
always
nobody.
forget is a thing is track. You can see how much gold everybody has.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I always
Something
forget that you
random.
can do that, but it's actually, it could potentially be game winning, knowing if they don't
It's
have
a huge
buyback or
deal
not.
to know how much gold a hero has for sure.
Z-Freak scouting things out. He's gonna get the track off, but nothing more. So far, the Silver Edge, I don't think it was used on the Visage because he was just doomed right off the bat. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
he's
could get a
having
Doom
hard
on him every
getting into
time,
the
then
fight on Tiny.
you know you could go the double whammy and get Aghanim Scepter on Doom. That way you can break the passive that way as well. Double
That is
break.
true. I feel like that may be too much of a commitment. Like, if they do that, and like I said, they just buy back, then
No, it's awful.
Doom has effectively 4K net worth that's just useless.
Yeah. It's
I
definitely
think Doom
terrible.
will go for, like, BKB Shivas, or he goes Shadowblade. It looks like he wants to go Shadowblade. Maybe he'll go for Silver Edge. You never know. Like, okay, he's going Shivas. I think BKB Shivas is his build for sure. I feel like Doom just needs to draw attention to himself so that Complexity doesn't focus Terrorblade in the fights. Because if Complexity can ignore everyone else and just focus the Terrorblade, they will win fights. But if Doom, like, throws his body at them saying, take me first, like, after I Doom you, then I think that'll make it a lot easier for Terrorblade to do his job.
I'm really
Because
surprised we're
Terrorblade
not
built a
seeing.
lot of damage. He actually built MKB.
So, what do you think about a Lotus Orb instead of the Shivas, though, and on Doom, and take off Global Silence?
Well, I think the idea is that, like, the slow and, like, the AoE, like, the AoE slow is actually a huge deal. Like, it actually just, it disrupts the fight a lot, especially against all the summons on Visage. So, Lotus Orb would be more of a protect my Terrorblade by sitting behind him item, and I think Shiva's is more of a I'm going in first, draw attention to myself kind of item, if you know what I mean, on that front. So I think certain circumstances the Lotus Orb would be better, but I think he plans to go in first, like every fight on Doom. In which case, Shiva's I think is always the best option on heroes like Doom, because you just cause a lot of havoc with the slow, as well as you provide vision for your team, and you make yourself tankier, obviously.
Well, Limp showing himself bot, taking out a siege creep, trying to do a little bit of damage to the tier 3 as well. It's almost level 25. Jesse, I don't even know if we've mentioned the fact that he's had Ags, but he's had it for a while.
And
one of the
MP's actually
better Ags in
pressuring
the
top
game.
a lot, so this is really good. They're going to be forced to back on Complexity. They bring the Lina back to base as the Boots of Travel.
Yeah,
So
TB with the
Complexity's probably
MKB.
going to push out 1 or 2 more waves top, maybe even just stop now, which they are. They're actually making this immediately rushed. They're going to put the Lina back towards mid, and they're going to force a fight while there's no split push pressure on top. They just want a 5-man. They have a Visage, they have Aegis.
Oh
Complexion cancels the blink.
He's got cheese available, but the Tiny gets blown up immediately. Visage, super healthy right now. Moo pop the BKB and runs away. But there's the Doom onto Visage, so can't use cheese now. See if his team can save him. Oh, wow, he just melts. Laguna Blade not nearly enough to get a kill. And with that, Complexity's going to fall back. And Limp, oh, they're on the high ground. Don't think there's anybody's going to pursue them on Immortal's side.
Doom might be really good against Visage. I'm not sure. It seems very it seems weird, but just removing a hero from the fight is
Oh,
obviously
boy.
what Doom does. Oh gosh.
He just dies.
Then notice they bring down the bounty hunter. But Visage is a hero that you can't really afford to focus, so you just want to remove him from fights. So being able to doom him and say, okay, if we want to kill him, we can, but if we don't want to kill him, we can ignore him. And because at the end of the day, the birds are super necessary. Like the Grave Chill helps the birds do damage as well as the Solar Crest. Like you actually need the hero to help the birds. So it's been interesting. I've never seen this approach. Immortal's doing a really good job, even though they're down 8K. The net worths are incredibly staggered, as you see, like the top 2 net worths for each team. Oh, the Fiend's Grip!
Fiend's Grip again. Moo, he's going to cancel it with the press the attack, but the kill is there nonetheless.
Light Strike Array from the Rubik.
And Moo blinks out to safety.
So they have the Crimson Guard, plus the Rubik took the talent for Fade Bolt hero attack. So they do like no damage whenever they get Fade Bolted.
Oh, wow. Minus 45.
It reduces 80 damage. That's a lot, especially on Lina, who only hits for 250. That's a third of her damage.
Yeah. Well, that might be part of the reason she's going to be going for Daedalus now, it seems.
And Limp needs to carry this game now. I actually think that even though Terrorblade's not the best at solo carrying this game, I think he solo carries the game better than Lina does. So Doom's actually catching up with the Devour bonus gold at level 15. He has the full Shivas, actually. Holy moly. He was at like 1,400 gold like 3 minutes ago. So that's pretty huge. Tiny almost has BKB. Once he gets BKB, I think he just needs like 1 armor item, and he's good to go. Maybe they could even look to try to build a medallion or something for him, because he just keeps getting dueled and blown up.
Yeah, he could go butterfly, buddy. Huh? The no-tail style?
Actually, though, against Visage is pretty good, but Visage does build Solar, and the new Solar gives, like, accuracy or whatever, so
true.
It's not quite as good as it used to be. They are smoked
we have
up
a smoke
on
now.
Complexity. They have all their shit.
Moo. Oof. He almost went for that illusion. Now he's going to get popped. Velo is invisible. He pump faked it, looking for the Doom. Can't see anybody now. And the Shuriken will have him on his way as Z-Freak has the Lotus Orb in tow now. And that could have been a huge fight.
Bottom looks like it's MP. He is going Scotty on MP. I think it's pretty important to, like, they lack constant chase on Immortals. Like, so they slow against the track as well as just, like, they have limited stuns. I think it's pretty important.
Roshan not quite up
Bane
yet.
stuns aren't really reliable at this point.
I don't know. Febi's or Dubu's stuns have been pretty reliable.
I was about to say, yeah, you know, you're right. If there's one guy that can Fiend's Grip against a silencer, it's Dubu for sure.
Oh yeah, we're about at the, what did I say, 40 minutes or something? He's got Tranquils. He's more farm than I thought.
You said Brown Boots wand, but he doesn't have the wand. He has the windmills, so it's close. It's close.
Gotcha.
He does also have a TP and a smoke, so I don't know how much of that was included in your description.
It's about the same
5
value.
slotted. I mean, he's got wards, TP, smoke, and
5 slotted Dubu.
Yep,
I bet if he got
version.
a bunch of items, he wouldn't even know what to do with them. He's just
I mean,
not
Dubu
used to
doesn't,
it.
Like he just buys support items because he's like, I don't know how to use a force staff. I've never had one. Okay, they're looping around. Complexity's aware. They're sitting on the high ground with a sentry. They even have the Frost Ogre creep.
Yeah, but it is night vision, so they don't
know
see
where
it.
they are.
Ooh, man, that's a great scan. That is a really good scan. Scan is available for Immortals, but
It looks like both teams know. They're all both concerned about Roche. It's going to be up in the next, like they know it's up in the next 2 minutes, but we know it's up in the next 30 seconds.
there's the scan.
It's just that awkward moment. Both teams on the high ground. It's a huge disadvantage for either team to drop to the low ground. No lane is requiring attention from either hero, or from either team, excuse me. So it looks like Immortals wants to force mid.
How important is the buyback for MP right now? Does he just buy the Scotty? Like if you die after you've metamorphed, then
if he gets bursted in a duel.
That's true. If he gets bursted before meta,
before metamorph, which is very realistic. So it looks like this is. I like this play from Immortals. Force Complexity in a base and then back towards Roche. Yes, this is very good. They needed to get
one
Complexity out of there somehow, and they can't go through the high ground to get them, right? So they force them to go to base first, and then oh, did he Fiend's Grip? Oh,
he
Fiend's
sure
Grip.
did.
Got him.
And the sound is still going, by the way.
It really matters that much.
Do you hear the sound?
Nice. I do.
Oh, that sounds good.
Haunted Dota map.
It went away. Damn.
It's gone now.
That's too bad.
I really like that play from Immortals, though. It was really good map movement control, and they're using Terrorblade illusions to push top, so they don't have to deal with that themselves. And they're looking.
Oh, the Shivas. There's the Doom, and Moo is in a lot of trouble. He's at half HP. We'll try to run away. LSA not going to connect on anybody. That's not going to do anything either. They will pop the Shrine, though. Shivas keeps them slowed. There's the Yules. Nice Force Staff keeping Lina very safe for now. Moo eats the cheese, and he's going to be fine. He can reinitiate if he really wants to. But Soxit will not be so lucky. MP destroys his face. And Z-Freak has the haste activated right now. So after all that, they lose one support. It does cost them Global Silence, which is pretty big, but that was a Doom as well.
I will say that it...
No, it's not over yet. Limp getting right-clicked by the Scotty. TB. Overwhelming odds to so much damage. They're going to try to reinitiate now. Here comes the duel onto Doom, LSA, and Laguna Blade. It's not going to be quite enough. They need a couple more right-clicks, and finally Moo will take the damage for himself. He will get bursted down as a result, though. So it's a 3-for-1 after all that. And MP, Meta's about to run out. See if they want to go for Tower or Roche.
Airblade's officially 1-5 today. No, it's not over yet. They still down 5k. Legion has buyback. But Visage has no birds for 80 seconds. So, and they have a DD top. Convenient. How does that always happen? Does that feel way more often than it should? I don't know, like a DD rune right outside of Roche.
Yes.
I don't know. It seems like it happens more often than it statistically should. But it is double rune spawning. That's actually pretty important. A big change that happened a few patches ago. DD runes can actually be game changing. Even illusion runes for Terrorblade are pretty huge.
It's confirmation bias, by the way.
What?
That's what happens when you think a probability is higher than it actually is. Confirmation bias.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But you're probably right.
It definitely feels like it. I don't know. It's like every time I look, there's been games where I'm just like, I want a Roche, and then there's just a DD rune there. I'm like, cool. Like, this is nice. We can go Roche now. But the Doom also has the Pack Leader's aura, so this Terrorblade does a lot of free damage. Like, he just has a lot of bonus free damage. When he has Metamorph going, that's like 80 free damage for him, and that's just, you know, when you have two heroes that are trying to solo carry the game based on the net worth that we see, one hero having 90 or 80 free damage is pretty drastic swing in the ability of both heroes to carry the game.
Yep, for sure. Velo showing his worth. Now that he has a refresher shard, can doom two people in a fight.
Might actually take the Metamorphosis attack range, by the way, because the way he dies is in duel, which he can't sunder. So I'm curious to see which one he takes. He hasn't decided yet. This is a rare game where the Metamorph attack range might actually be the correct play.
I think there's no way that's still the right play.
I'm telling you, man, the way he dies is in duel, which he's not sundering. So it doesn't matter. Like, he's not going to sunder multiple times, I don't think. There's another DD rune bottom. Oh,
well, boy. Can't you... Okay, tell me if this is possible. If you click on an enemy hero, you can see the cooldown of their spell. Not like if it's on cooldown, but you can see on the tooltip what the cooldown is, right? So when it changes to 5 seconds, that updates for the enemies too, correct?
I feel like it does, yes. I'm not actually positive, though. I really don't know. That
could be a reason to not skill it until you're actually getting close to using it. Next level plays.
Okay.
I could be talking out of my ass. That could maybe not even be possible.
I'm not gonna lie. You could... No, he took Metamorphosis attack range, dude.
All right, he's incorrect. Incorrect choice, MP. All right, we'll see. He's going to do it from low ground. That is insane range.
Siege with the DD. Holy moly. DD plus Pack Leader's aura. Oh, the Lina's going to get chunked.
Oh my god.
That
is filthy. This is like the Rapier game, except he doesn't have a Rapier.
He just has 90 damage and a DD, which is actually a Rapier about.
Alright, this attack range is pretty good. Won't lie.
I'm telling you, man, if you're against the duel, if that's the way you die, then this is a rare game where I think that it's better.
I can't bring myself to say that it's the correct one, you know? You're not picking the best talent in the whole game.
I mean, it's only the best talent if you can reliably sunder more than once. Like, that's the only reason it's good, and that's why I was saying, like, there are times to take this ability, and I think Legion's a good hero for it. I think Doom's another example of a hero you might take the Metamorphosis attack range against. Just heroes that make it so you're reliably not able to do the sunder twice. But in any game where you're able to sunder more than once and you think you can, just like it, obviously the most broken talent in the game for sure. Rara does have the BKB and Cheese going Daedalus himself. I feel like an AC could have been really good here, but he elects to go for the raw damage.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like the AC was really good for buffing up the TB as well as the armor aura against the Visage. And the Lina right clicks with the Daedalus, right? She went
Visage
for it.
is,
Yep, finally finished that item.
Who, Lena? Yeah, Daedalus.
Yeah.
For Chessie, what do you replace at this point? Assuming he gets more
I've
gold.
had this issue every game, actually, dude. I get to this place and I'm like, what? You can actually put the Ags on the ground, or meaning in your backpack. You only have to have the Ags when you.
Are you
summon the
serious? It
birds.
works that way? That's pretty
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can replace.
I started doing that. That was my solution.
Dire's top
You do that
Sometimes I put
over
my
getting
boots
rid
in my
of.
backpack. Sometimes I put my Ags in my backpack.
Like, how important is helm at this stage?
I
Or
mean,
even
the
hood.
attack speed aura is actually pretty massive, but I guess not with Alina. You have to worry about your core. Like in the games I had it, I'd have like a Terrorblade or something, so the attack speed was pretty nice.
Free tier 3.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I mean,
gets a
at this
freebie.
point, I think, yeah, that's pretty huge. I feel like Visage is a hero that he's either gonna die or he's not. Like, I don't think that extra HP from the Ags is gonna change anything. So maybe just going for the overall farm and damage with the helm might be better. I'm curious to see actually, because I've been actually having this debate the last like 3 times I've played Visage because I've ran into the problem every game. Curious to see what he chooses to do. Checking.
Well.
What is he checking with these birds?
Might just go for boots of travel
he's going
anyway.
for the shrine.
The old boots of travel on a bird or
Visage
something.
is like one of the worst boots of travel heroes.
Really?
Actually, I've realized because if
Oh,
you
boy.
don't have birds, who cares where you are, basically.
That's a grip,
So,
and that's a death.
yep.
Does have buyback
The
and
only
does have
purpose-
global.
Okay, this game. Okay, they did lose Aegis, but they still have Metamorph and the attack range talent. They have no fort, I believe, on Dire. Yeah, and still no fort. So we can just take this, and that's a free Rax,
Yeah.
I believe.
They do not have fortification, I
Oh,
don't
they have the
think. He's
halberd.
disarmed right now. Here comes the Doom. On to Lena. She's in a lot of trouble. We'll have to be forced back to base. They're not going to continue to
Hit the
pursue. They just want the
buildings,
racks
back.
here.
Oh, refresher
He
shard
pops
Doom.
the refresher. He can
shard
go
Doom.
again. Can't get the blink off yet, though. So we'll see what happens. And Terrorblade's going to be happy with the destruction done to the base. Ryoya sacrificing his life, it seems. Is this a cheese pop? I don't know. They're going to renege in here, I guess, as Visage. He buys back into the game now. I'm not sure if the reinitiation is possible this time around. Lotus Orb is there. Global Silence finally popped. Can they take advantage of this? They're not really doing a whole lot with it. Doom jumps back in. Can't really do a whole lot on top of it, though, as Lena is dead for 40 seconds. Does have buyback if they go any further into the base. We'll see if that ends up being the case or not. Is Bane taken out by Zefric in the backside? He's Yulesed up. Lotus Orb Sunder, I believe. That is what it sounds
Something
like.
happened there.
And
Yeah.
Ryoya now on the run. Avalanche. He might need to sacrifice himself. Looks like he used the cheese already. So he will die.
Wow.
And Terrorblade and Febby are the only ones to survive now.
I feel like they should have just doomed and gotten the racks and backed off. I feel like there's just buybacks are too good this patch. I feel like if you ever dive base and the enemy team has buyback, they can do this. And Complexity has to make something happen off this. They can't let all these heroes respawn without buying back, especially the Tiny. If they can force Tiny to buy back and then kill Tiny, that actually gives them a way to win this game. The game's really hard for them now. Like we said, the Lina just has a hard time out carrying the Terrorblade. Like, it's just not really going to happen with the matchup. The Lina does have a DD, though. Radiant Fortification is up. They smoke up, ready to go. Looking for... There's no tower, so maybe they'll catch Febby with duel.
Yeah, they want to force these buybacks for sure.
Bottom barracks are
And the DD activated.
Oh, they might catch this with moves.
Limp doing so much
Really good
damage.
positioning.
He's going to jump in. He's going to get Bane. This will be an easy one. And they're going to clean up Rubik potentially as well. No, he has the Eon Disc. It does activate. Bane buys back into the game. BKB popped by Limp. He's just going to die back immediately. Refresher popped by Limp. That was recently purchased by him. This is going to be a Rax now in the bot
He
lane.
has to get out. They just have to get out. They have no buybacks. Just get out and protect your base.
Moo pops the BKB. Has Lotus Orb applied. And Immortals wants to chase, but damage is continually being done, so this Doom cannot blink. Chessie extremely fast.
I think Chessie's a goner.
And he's pretty fast, though.
The track movement
Looks like
speed's
he'll
actually
be
helping
okay.
a ton. That was huge.
And they might
And
not
they
lose
protected their
anybody.
Rax top as well. They might lose range.
Oh, Saksa. Yule's in the last moment. Nice job from
No
Immortals.
buyback on him. 90 seconds.
Yep, and he did have ultimate, so... And Limp is actually 6 slotted, by the way. He doesn't even have boots in his actual inventory right now.
Refresher orb.
Yeah.
Like, he just used it. When did he use it? Huh. Odd.
Yeah, double
He must have
Laguna.
refresher orbed in order to BKB TP or something? That must have been what happened.
No, he Laguna'd and then he just popped refresher ready to go again. He ended up Lagooning.
Oh, okay.
Actually, maybe he
And
didn't
he's leaving
Laguna
it in his
again.
inventory now.
Not sure.
Yeah, he's leaving in his inventory again so that he can lower the cooldown.
Yeah.
It doubles the cooldown if you have it anywhere other than your inventory. For some reason, people think it is better if you drop it on the ground or put it on the courier or something. It's anywhere other than your inventory. That's double the cooldown.
Oh, they found the freak. But he has the Eon. Oh, that's the Lotus Orb. Sorry. It looks like he will fall, and he has no buyback. They're going to have to try to defend this with only 3 members. Or perhaps they give up 1 Rax and wait for Silencer to be back up. But at the very least, they will not have bounty.
That gives attack speed on Doom. He has the one that the 75 attack speed from the Frenzy. All these free things for the Terrorblade add up real quick.
Oh, the Ancient. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty dirty. Oh, they're going to jump in. There's the duel and a Laguna Blade. Is it going to be enough to actually take out Doom himself? It's pretty close, but no. Looks like he will survive just barely. Finally falls, but it's going to end up being a trade. 3 dead. That's a triple kill for MP. Buyback now onto Moo. I don't think there's anything he can do at this point, as this game is looking over. Soxa pops that ulti, and again, they can't do anything with it.
Metamorphosis attack range haters?
How dare you? They probably would have still won either way, all right? Let's be real.
I don't know, man. That high ground siege was drastically different.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'll admit, it was quite good. So, Immortals, after the complexity start today, they 2-0 complexities. It makes the qualifiers very interesting. So, as to my knowledge, they haven't called GG yet, by the way. But to my knowledge, if there is a tiebreaker between the top 2 in the group, or in the round robin, they just go based off head-to-head. So,
no way. They don't
not,
have a tiebreaker for a $1.5 million tournament?
I have to check. I'm not sure.
No
You're
way
making me
they
doubt
have a
myself. I'm
tiebreaker.
going to check right now while we watch Roche.
I mean, okay, I believe it, but like in terms of like.
If there is a tie, we take direct results between teams.
Oh my god.
That's what that means to me.
What if they have a 1-1? What's the
What?
next criteria?
Oh,
What
if it's
they won
1-1, then let's see.
Common
Play
opponents?
decider
Is that what they're
match. They play a decider.
Okay,
Right?
decider match.
It doesn't say what it is though. But the point I'm trying to make is,
God.
if complexity and optic tie, complexity will take it. If
Everyone
complexity,
2-0 each other. So
yeah,
whoever
exactly.
Ties, like Immortals, yeah, okay.
So it's up to Vici J
Wow.
Storm to do something now.
Okay, I will say that like I'm shocked that what happened in this series, and I guess complexity, like you said, is not giving up. But I am also not shocked that this is an Dota. This is what we live and breathe. All teams are equally mediocre somehow. We're leading this spot where.
Oh,
I mean, it's
Dubo's
exciting.
got a
It's
gem.
good for the qualifier.
Oh, Z-Freak
Just
again
Battle
is going to
Fury on
die.
Legion.
What's that?
Battle Fury on Legion.
Whoa. Oh, to push the waves, I guess. Sure,
Yeah, get
sure.
rid of the mega creeps. Yeah, I don't think that's going to solve their issues, but
No.
nonetheless, probably correct.
I mean, I'm a little bit surprised he didn't just go for Maelstrom, personally, because Mjolnir's pretty good on him.
It's not enough to clear megas, I don't think. It's good against like the fights, like for Terrorblades and stuff, but against megas, I don't think.
All right, here we go. This could
They
be
can just hit
the...
buildings while they do. And
Yeah, I think so.
Yep,
And that's
what
what Tiny is doing. Ryoya doing a lot of damage. Moo. There's the global silence. And
The
the
blade
duel. It's going to be on MP. Lots of damage being applied. Finally, we'll take him out, but that's just the Aegis. So we will be back very shortly. The multiple tosses coming into play as well. Limp pops that refresher orb. See if he can do any more damage on top of things as MP is able to take out another hero. And they could just go for buildings now, like you said. And Limp and company, not a whole lot to do. And well played from Immortals, taking this series 2-0.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie, for the start or for like the mid game he had, I actually give MVP to Velo there. Like he did his job so well, and he jumped into the middle of fights. And I officially am convinced that Doom is really good against Visage.
I'm convinced from this game because as a Visage player, the only thing you're afraid of is somebody running at you, so you can't actually hit people. and Doom can actually remove you from the fight. So that was convincing to me when Visage seemed like a very powerful hero every game I've watched him, and he seemed not so powerful there. And we saw, I don't think it's the Terrorblade, because earlier we saw Visage own Terrorblade, and now this game, I really think the deciding factor was Doom, despite the fact, like, we had two very farmed heroes, and then a bunch of people in the middle of the pack, and I think the Doom's impact for how much net worth he had was pretty huge. So really, really good itemization and play, I think, by him for the items he had. Obviously, MP, though, carrying the game. Metamorphosis, attack range. And, wow. Like to see Visage lose, honestly. But it's exciting. It's exciting to see.
Exciting to see him lose.
No, it's just exciting to see the qualifiers, man. I really thought after today with the Optic series that Complexity was just going to go like 11 or 12-2 or something and just win the whole thing easily. But not so convinced anymore.
All right. Well, that is the end of today. Of course, as far as the tiebreakers are concerned, I don't know what the actual rules are. All I can do is read what was sent to us. So what I read is, I mean, it's pretty plain and simple that there is not a tiebreaker unless, well, technically the tiebreaker is the matchup in the group stage, whether you go 2-0 or not. So if it's 1-1, then something is done for actual tiebreakers. So if these two teams, like I said at the end, if they face up, if they end up being tied, Immortals will win the tiebreaker by default based on what was sent to us. So we'll see. We'll see if that's actually the rules or not, or if they pasted us something incorrect. So thanks for joining me, BSJ. We'll be back again tomorrow, friends, for the second of 3 days for the NA qualifiers of the Super Major. Very exciting stuff. Like you said, it started off a little shaky because Complexity just looked like they were going to clean up. Not the case anymore. Things are getting interesting.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Vici J Storm yet either, so I'm excited to be casting them, I believe, tomorrow, I want to say. In fact, let's take a look at our schedule. All right, so tomorrow is Vici J. It's actually a really good game. Vici J versus Optic, then Optic versus IsGG, and then Immortals versus IsGG.
Okay,
Should be an interesting day. All right,
Right
guys.
on.
Thanks for
tomorrow.
watching. Goodbye.
Bye.